What's up guys, it's Keefe. In today's video we're going over monk mode, what it is, the basics of it, and if it's something that you should consider in your life if you find yourself at a spot where things just aren't on the right track for you, or maybe you've got some huge important milestones coming up for you and you need to make sure that you have your shit together. Now before we get into that, I made this channel to build better men, so if you're a guy who's out there who's looking to improve his life, hit the subscribe button and bell icon. I put out new videos every single day to help you do exactly that. So guys, we're gonna get started with what is monk mode. Monk mode is about eliminating distractions for a complete focus on self-development. Now, I call this a modern tribal ritual because if you know much about history, a lot of ancient tribes, when a boy would come of age, which at the time was usually like 13 or something like that, they would send the boy out into the woods and he'd have to go conquer some quest of some sort. Usually it would involve his own isolation from the tribe, and he would have to come back basically and have proven himself as a man. Sometimes it was you had to go kill some dangerous animal, or sometimes it was just you had to survive on your own for an extended period of time. There were lots of different trials that the man was put through. The idea behind this was it transformed the male psyche, whereas women tend to be born and through their own maturation, biology tends to make women grow up. Men tend to need some sort of external force that forces the masculine character to kind of come out of them. So I call this a modern ritual because what you're doing in this is you're eliminating essentially the pleasures of the tribe, right? The pleasures of the tribe, things like social interactions, things like the guilty pleasures of the tribe, the pointless enjoyment, the luxuries of the tribe. And it is a complete focus on basically the modern day equivalent of come back with the lion's head on your freaking shield, or just don't come back at all, right? It's that kind of attitude in a way. The goal is psychological, physical, and financial transformation. I put those three down. There's obviously more forms of transformation. You could be looking more on a spiritual side of it, but those are the key ones, because ultimately we do want to transform the psyche. Your psyche through this process should be maturing. It should be becoming more resilient, more hardened, more focused, more disciplined. That is the goal of this. And with that is obviously going to become a physical transformation. You're going to build your body. You're going to be getting your money right. To me, I don't know if you're like me, this kind of stuff excites me, right? I get fired up about the idea of really focusing on improving myself. So some guys get real intimidated by this. I love it. I think it's great. Now on this side, I've got some of the things that you need to look at. Eliminating bad foods, for example. We're going to get our body right. This is about complete focus on the diet. Eliminating pointless social interactions. I put pointless ones because perhaps you got a business partner, or perhaps you have to work with clients, or maybe you have a friend who's actually on his shit as well, and it might not be such a bad idea for you to hang out with them. But pointless social interactions are gossiping, talking about dumb shit, playing video games with your friends, smoking weed, all these kinds of things. That type of stuff, if it's not moving you directly towards your goals, it's a social interaction you shouldn't be a part of during this time. Along with this, social media, drinking and smoking, porn, I put etc. because you know personally the things that really hold you back from focusing completely on that which you know you want to accomplish with your life. Onto the other side of the board here. Okay guys, on this side of the board, things to do. You want to study your craft, right? Sharpen the sword, whether that be in real estate, stock trading, doesn't matter, plumbing, I don't know, that seems to be my go-to example, right? Plumbing. But whatever it is that you are committed to focusing on and building for yourself, maybe you're a writer, I don't know, whatever that is, focusing on your craft completely, focusing on finances, health, history, philosophy. History and philosophy, I just threw some in there because, again, I was talking about you want to develop psychologically. You were trying to become a complete man. A complete man needs to understand history because history will teach you about yourself. It'll show you inspiring figures. I find history very important to understand so that you can properly behave in the present moment. Philosophy, again, you need to have a worldview. So these kinds of things, studying, this is about becoming a man completely. I think some people take this too far into the extreme of more of the external, like let's just build a bunch of money, stack dollars up, let's stack dollars up and let's get our body right. Well, you can do that without going into monk mode. This to me is a sense of completely transforming, like you want to come out of this a different person with a different mindset about the world and a more concise worldview, seeing things better and having a philosophy for living moving forward that will help you to continue the process of being successful, okay? Along with this, diligent focus on goal achievement. That's what you're really here to do. You're trying to achieve goals, figure out what those goals are, obviously, before you get started. Self-development habits, things like meditation, maybe cold showers, whatever it is, the things that get you in the optimal state. Those are the things you're doing consistently with your time. I've got right here types of monk mode. This is, to me, this is something I made up more. The traditional monk mode thing is complete focus, and there's really no length of time to it. It's just, but I felt like for you guys, it would be best if I broke it into 3 kinds of monk mode that I think will help different people who are watching this video. The first one is the week-long monk mode. This is good if you've got like an exam or a deadline, maybe a business deadline, or you've got to pass the bar exam in law school or whatever it is. This is a good thing to focus on. People kind of naturally know this. It's an intuitive thing, like we got to eliminate distractions, right? So the week-long monk mode. The seasonal monk mode is if you're in a spot where you're like, maybe you've plateaued, maybe you're kind of just not going anywhere, you don't really know what's going on, and you want to level up. You want to steer the ship in the right direction. So maybe taking 3 months of complete focus on improving yourself and getting where you're trying to get. The year monk mode, I think this is about as long as you should go. Beyond this, I mean, your social skills are going to die, and I mean, we're social creatures, right? We need to be interacting. We want to live complete lives. We don't want to be in isolation forever, right? This is about completely reorganizing your life. If you're not happy with anything, right? You're completely compulsive, controlled by addictions and negative habits. Your money's in shambles. You don't like really anything about your life. I might advise you take a whole year and just lock in, right? That might be a good idea. Now, one thing I wanted to cover about this, because as I said on the other side of the board, a lot of people don't like this stuff. I personally enjoy this kind of stuff, but I think the reason people don't like it, and you're supposed to actually like this, right, is because it shouldn't be painful, like I've written down here. The reason it shouldn't be painful is because you should have a purpose behind it, right? Now, I think a lot of guys, they watch motivational videos. I've put out a few. They get really fired up for a second. They're like, all right, let's go. And then they don't really know why they're going. They don't exactly know what the goal is. They don't have that thing that they just love to sink their teeth into. And so they get started and the distractions come in. They're not that compelled to do the thing they want to do. And so they fold, right? They always fold. They don't enjoy it. They burn out. They run into more roadblocks and more roadblocks because they're building up all this inner resistance. They're getting like a mind block because they just don't like doing it. And you can only, I don't care how disciplined you are, you can only force yourself to do something that you can't stand doing for so long, right? So the way to stop that is to have a purpose. Find your purpose, right? Like if you absolutely love doing something, you'll find that the things that distract you from doing it are more unconscious behaviors. They're not things you actually would prefer to do, right? Like for me, I love making YouTube videos. I love the coaching program I've started. I don't really want to spend my time on social media or doing stupid hangouts with people or watching political news, things like that. But these are unconscious habits that I personally fall into that I have to be mindful of and make sure I don't let derail me. But I notice every time I do it, I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't even like doing this. Again, it's an unconscious behavior. So the only reason that you wouldn't enjoy doing this, honestly, is if you're not on the purpose. If you're doing it because it sounds nice and you feel this guilty feeling like you need to get your crap together, but you don't really know what you're aiming for. So before you begin on a monk mode endeavor, I would strongly suggest that you figure out what it is you want for your life. Where am I trying to get by the end of this? What is this Mount Everest I want to scale that I just love doing? It needs to be something you love doing, because otherwise you won't have the drive to keep going when the distractions come in and when you get bored and when you're having a bad day. You just won't want to do it. If you love what you're doing, though, you will have no problem removing the distractions, right? You might never bring them back for all I know, but I think that's the way when it comes to all these like super locked in moments guys get into. The best way to make sure that it actually works is to love what you're locking in on. And if you don't love what you're locking in on, you're probably not going to get anywhere with it. Now, guys, this to me is the basics of monk mode. If you want me to make a video on how to appropriately set up the monk mode, leave a comment down below. I will make that video soon. Also, guys, as I've been mentioning, my Better Man coaching program is now live. I'm accepting a few more clients. If you're interested in learning more about that, you can schedule a link in the description box below. The program is for guys who are seriously committed to getting their life moving in the right direction, getting the external results, becoming a high value kind of man, feeling internally great, and again, having those external results, the money, the women, the body, just everything moved in the right direction, getting that clarity and getting that achievement of purpose. If that sounds interesting to you, again, schedule a free consultation with me in the description box below. We'll explain more on the call. We'll find out if it's a good fit for you. Guys, if you got something out of this video, give me a like so I can reach more guys to the algorithm. Hit the bell icon and subscribe button so you don't miss new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.